everyone, welcome to yet another episode of the Career Cruise podcast. I'm your host, Violette Wambua. Thank you so much for joining me. If you're new here, thank you. Please like, please subscribe, please share, please comment, say where you're watching us from, okay? And if you're coming back again, thank you so much for believing in the message. Thank you so much for hanging out with me yet again. And enjoy yourself. Karibuni sana. On Career Cruise podcast, we discuss so many things that pertain to your growth as a person, your growth in terms of your career, in terms of your business, and also just your growth in terms of making you a better, equipping you to better achieve your goals, and maybe even in a shorter manner, in a shorter space of time. Today we'll discuss about leadership skills. So obviously when you hear leadership, you think your boss, you think about your department leader, your supervisor, think about the president of the country, you think about, the big politicians, or you think about, I don't know what you think about, but most people take leadership to be very detached from themselves. Like if I think, leadership, I'm not thinking about myself. But today we're going to talk about leadership as regards yourself. You are leading yourself as you're doing your business. You're leading yourself as you're going to your job. You're leading yourself to take better care of yourself physically, mentally, emotionally. You're leading yourself to do activities that feed your soul. You are your own leader before you even start leading other people. And when other people see you, doing positive things, they'll sort of tend to coalesce around you and sort of want you to lead them also. They might not say it. Maybe they'll say it, but they might not say it. But because of how they see you're disciplined, you're focused, they kind of want to be around you for that vibe. So that's what we're talking about today. You're a leader already. The fact that you're here at Career Cruise podcast, you're a leader in and of within yourself. And so let's talk about improving your leadership skills. So then it will suit more than just you, but also other people outside yourself. First of all, just to know that anything that we're doing here is about constant and continuous improvement, okay? So even your leadership skills, picking them up, honing them and practicing them and improving them, is all about it's a continuous process of self-improvement. But I could give you some actionable steps, okay? Some things that you could do to make it better for you and make it easier for you and even for others around you. Number one, you should seek feedback and reflect. So people say if you're a leader and no one is following you, then there's a problem, especially if you're seeing yourself as a leader of people, not just of yourself, but of people. So find out, I could be saying, I'm a leader and we're doing this, but no one is following suit. So you're just a motive, but there's no pattern being formed after your kind. So find out what is happening over there. And then really think about it. And then now, of course, you make a change towards what you want to achieve. So self-reflection is one of the best ways to improve your skills as a leader. Finding out from other people what they think about you. You could even ask them to give you anonymous feedback. If let's say it's at work and people are afraid they could lose their jobs by telling you what they think about you, I don't know, find some box or something and tell them, drop your comments in here. You just never know what could come into that comment box. It's like the prayer box in church. We never write our names. So we just write our requests, but then we never write our names. So maybe you could do that. Just thinking. So that then we could check your style, check your, how do you do this thing and is it working, The other thing also, just to improve your leadership skills, set goals. Maybe you're working toward becoming the next CFO and you're a few ranks below that job level. So you start to practice. You don't get the skills the day you become the CFO. You start practicing even before you're even anywhere in line, like next in line. So you start practicing way before. So by improving your leadership skills, making sure that people can come to you, by giving them mentoring, all those two things that we do. And so just make a goal and say, for me to achieve that, I need to improve here. I need to pick up skills here. I need to go for a training, like that. So set your goal and then make a plan, so make a development plan so that you develop yourself as a leader even before you're tapped to be next in line for an opportunity. People don't get tapped just for the sake. There's something in you that shows people this one has the metal to take up the mantle, okay? Take up the position. So start building. It's like, running a marathon. You just don't wake up and say we're doing 42 kilometers. You need to have practice, my dears. You need to have run around, so then you can hack the journey. You don't wake up and say you can bench 100. You'll die. You need to have started benching 5, 20, like that. So as you continue, do that. So of course you set your goals and that's what you want to achieve. And of course now, guys, continuous learning, I cannot overstate it. I know I like saying that a lot, but yeah, it's true. You have to have read books on leadership, listen to podcasts on leadership, attend courses. If at your workplace the employer gives people opportunity to attend courses on such, jump in, be so greedy for information. Especially these leadership courses, it really, really do help. I've attended quite a few in my lifetime, and I noticed how, like when I was going in, especially the one I did in October last year, when I was going in, I thought I had an idea of what women in leadership is all about. Whoa, I got in there and it was not what I was expecting, and it was very humbling, but also I was encouraged, because then the only room that is forever open in this world is a room for improvement. So I was encouraged. And yeah, and by the time of the, I think 6 months, yeah. By the time that was done, I was definitely different in terms of my knowledge about women in leadership. Of course, you attend conferences, and these are all for like-minded people. So maybe at that level, you're still a junior in terms of your leadership skills and leadership level, but you're attending these conferences and you're networking. You just never know, your opportunity for being a leader, or rather for being tapped to become a leader, might not be in the organization that you're in right now, but because you're attending these conferences with other leaders and learning from them and interacting with them and networking with them, you can actually just be picked to go and lead in another institution altogether, okay? So keep yourself at the feet of learning. Like, knowledge should be you're always at the foot of the mountain of knowledge. Of course, you practice active listening. There's one thing I learned called already listening. So there's a situation where you're talking to someone and they're expressing themselves to you, but you're listening to respond to them, or you're listening with an assumption of what they're going to say. So you miss out on so much. So listen actively, listen to people, hear what they're saying, even hear what they're not saying, and confirm what it is that you've heard, okay? Someone tells you, oh yeah, and there was red lights, and then, so you're saying there was red lights, okay? That way you're walking with someone through the story that they're telling you, through the information they're giving you. Then there's no room for assumption, there are no gaps in the conversation, so just active listening to others, and also listening builds the empathy muscle in you. You're able to listen to someone else's story or point of view without necessarily, so it makes you not magnify your own story over another person's story, okay? So you engage fully, you ask them questions, and you show an interest. And the next time they think of a good leader, I think you're top 5 at all times. Like, mention a good leader, this one is, listening, caring, and all those are qualities of a good leader, okay? Doesn't mean that you take up people's problems to be your own, but I think a lot of us just need to be listened to. Like, if anything, we already know what to do maybe, but just that listening, maybe that's all we needed, at all. That's all we ever needed. The other thing that you need to do to improve your leadership skills, and this one, you start early before you become the president. You start early before you become the big boss of your organization. You start early before you become the authority in terms of your business sector. Please develop emotional intelligence. Like EQ, there's courses on EQ. It's so important. Just knowing how to regulate yourself, regulate your emotions, practice your empathy, put yourself in other people's shoes. It will make you a better salesman. You get so much sales and such improved sales by putting yourself in other people's shoes. You get a better reward or a better return on investment by being more empathetic, being more, supportive, having self-awareness, like, oh my God, today is not the day. And that doesn't mean that no one should cross your path. It means that today is not the day that you're going to do activity X, Y, Z. And so you regulate yourself. When you're aware of what your pitfalls are, remember, we're not perfect, but when you have self-awareness, you know what will trigger you, you know what will push you, you know what will not work for you. Oh my goodness, you're able to regulate yourself, okay? And you're able to manage yourself, even manage your feelings, manage your emotions, and be able to even manage your thoughts, so that you don't go down rabbit holes. As a leader, if somebody says something that you feel, are they slighting me? Are they disrespecting me as a leader? So your confidence becomes better, so that even when you face opposition, you're able to regulate yourself and not come down hard on people. So you don't use a hammer to strike a fly or a mosquito. So you're able to use the appropriate tools. You're able to respond appropriately to issues that come up, matters arising, any opposition that comes up. If you feel like somebody's maybe at work is being insubordinate, so you're not there unleashing your wrath and fire on them. Save that for the day that you actually do need to scatter some dragons, but it's not every time that you're breathing fire and brimstone. That's poor regulation of yourself. And also you become easy to manipulate when you're always getting angry. You will become very easy to move around, and people are able to know which buttons to press. No, a leader should not be transparent like that, and people can push you around emotionally. The other thing I'd say also, enhance your communication skills. They're very good for you as a leader. Practice your public speaking. Many times you'll be called upon to speak in forums, or even on videos. Maybe something is being recorded and they need the leader of the department or the organization, or you as a leader to speak on something. So practice your public speaking skills. Get into courses that do that. I've seen Toastmasters doing that. So just practice, so that when you're speaking, and let's say you're speaking, presenting the elevator pitch for your company, or for the department, for the job where you're hired, you're able to speak without pausing, shaking, sweating, all those things that are not necessarily very cute. They're cute when you're 4 years old or in grade 4. But then now at this big age, surely you're supposed to be a bit more confident. So yeah, practice your public speaking skills. Speak in the mirror. In your bedroom, act as if you're speaking to 100 people or 1,000 people. Do the I have a dream speech by what's this man? Gosh, am I forgetting him now? Yeah, Martin Luther King, yes. And think like Obama, in how he presents. So the other thing, also be very clear when you're speaking. Let there be no room for doubt in what you're saying, the ideas you're presenting. Let them be clear and concise. Obviously, body language, nonverbal communication is important. So communication is not just about what I say or what I don't say. It's also about the nonverbal cue, your tone of voice, your eyes, how your hands are moving around, eye contact, so if you're speaking to people and or you're listening to someone, and then someone is talking to you passionately about something, and your eyes, you're busy looking around. Give full attention, as in, for that 2 minutes, make this person feel like they're the center of the world. And that's all, so that's a good leader. Also, it gives you a chance to actually hear what they're saying, rather than when you're distracted, moving around, looking around for your next hot person or something. And then the other thing, as a leader, you should also be thinking about your growth. So embrace a mindset of growth. Everything you're doing has to have growth attached to it. So become a better leader that way, and then you will not allow yourself to fall back into the old routines, the things that you'll actually embrace new horizons. And even if you're doing things that are a bit uncomfortable for you, you'll still, you'll be like, no, I'm doing this because there's a whole big vision and a whole big goal that I have in mind as I build my leadership skills. Remember to build strong relationships. Leaders need support. Not people to cheer you on when you're doing bad things, but you need support. You need champions. You need people who can support you. You need people you can speak to. You need people who you can let your hair down around, because then being a leader also, it forces you to not to pretend, but you can't go emptying yourself all over the place to everyone. But you do need relationships with people who you can tell them, hey, this maybe I just remembered a short story. There's a lady who was promoted to become a head of department in a university, and that's a very big deal. So the day they were being announced, it was during one of those university events, and that particular day she needed so much support. She suffers from endometriosis, so she'd gotten it was one of those days, and that's the special day in the school, and she can't skip that ceremony, because that's where now she's also being announced as the new department leader or something, and she's a whole PhD holder, so it's a very big deal. And she needed her friends there, and she needed people who understand what's going on with her, people who could be there in the background to just support her and give her, what do you need? Do you need water? Pass this to her. Do you need mints? Pass to her. Do you need a painkiller? Things like that. So you just need that kind of support system for yourself. So you're not an island. You're not doing this alone as a leader. So yeah, build strong relationships, and even with other industry leaders. So then you are tapping into each other and you're busy exchanging notes and you're growing together. For your team, do team building activities and just let yourself mingle with your people that are doing the work with you, that you're leading in your company, for example. And when they see you letting your hair down, you're able to play, because I know team building is all about playing and bonding and that kind of connection. So it's not like you're paying for the team building or you're approving the team building and you're not going. You have to attend yourself, okay? That's a way to also build relationships. And these relationships go beyond the institution you're in, because this person will remember so-and-so was such a good leader. So if they meet you out there, it's easy for them to vouch for you even. Like, you just never know. The other thing about leadership that I know I struggle with is delegating effectively. Like, whoa, you need to delegate. You can't do everything by yourself. There's so many examples of delegating. Use the bee scenario. There's a queen bee, then there's a worker bees, and even these worker bees have structures around them. So the queen bee doesn't do everything. All she does there is just lay eggs and make honey, I guess. But yeah, so everybody has to have work that they're doing, so you don't suffer as a leader and you focus on the important things as a leader. The other thing you also need to do is develop strong decision-making skills. Please be decisive, like be able to make decisions backed up with knowledge, backed up with body of information, so then you are leading your team properly. So you practice this in and of yourself, by yourself. At the beginning I was saying that as a leader, you're also a leader of yourself. So when you're making good decisions, you are leading yourself, and that way you're also able to lead others as you continue to practice good decision-making skills. Of course, learn from experience. You will fail thoroughly. How many times do you snooze your alarm clock? That's a failure. So learn from experience and build from that, and also learn from other people's experiences. You don't have to experience everything in the world for you to say, take it from me. No. You can also observe other people's challenges and failures and pick up from that, learn from that, pick lessons from that as you go into your own journey as a leader. I know I said this earlier about mentorship and coaching. Find mentors, find coaches to walk, people who know about leadership specifically, so they can walk with you through the journey. You might need them for a short span of time. Other people that I know, they have to have a coach forever and ever. Do what suits you. But yeah, get knowledge, get help, get your hand held, get people who champion you, get people who support you, so then you can succeed as a leader, and also not just as a leader, but in life generally. What else can I say about building your leadership skills? I mean, stay adaptable, embrace change. Life is always changing. where we are now is not where we were 5-10 years ago. So yeah, be adaptable, be flexible, have a flexible approach. The goal is the same, but the approach can be flexible, so long as it's with integrity and within good ethics. Why not? So, and then the other thing you need to do, my goodness, cultivate resilience. Like, please don't be the person who gets negative feedback and you wither away and you shut it all down. No, have some grit within you, some resilience. So then you also, even you give that energy back to the people you're leading, said, hey, things were tough this year in this department, but with our leader, we stayed on course. The ship did not capsize. We didn't sink. We weren't blown overboard, that kind of thing. So you're able to even, stress management is part of cultivating resilience in yourself and even in the people that you're leading, so be able to bounce back. Being able to bounce back is such a gift. So seek it out, grow it, develop it. Like, I think all the good leaders that we know, we've seen them going through harsh times, difficult times, but then they were resilient, they were unbowed. And others, we saw them going flat out, but guess what? They bounced back. So I think that's what I can say to conclude this particular episode of, improving your leadership skills. I'm sure there's much more that can be discussed about leadership and leadership skills. If you're a leadership coach, if you're a leadership mentor, if leadership is your thing, write in, let me know. Let's have an episode, that will follow up this, because I feel like what I've done here today is an introduction into leadership and building leadership skills. So yeah, come through, let's discuss some more. Tell us where you teach people or how you coach them and all that. Let us grow together. Let's grow the community together. My leaders out there, like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Take care.